Sure, gents. So I'm back again with another video. We got another attack from our so-called fellow African brothers, uh, who are now, I mean, it's being discovered now, but evidently this has been going on for a long time. And this is the reason why they are hiring foreigners in our university institutions so they can discriminate against Black South Africans. I hope you guys are catching on to what's going on. This is a very well organized syndicate that's taking place, where they are trying to replace Black South Africans to prevent the revolution from taking place in South Africa. I hope it's making sense now. I mean, how much more evidence do you need? I would love to watch and listen to Nigerians try to explain this away, because in Nigeria, they keep pushing this narrative of xenophobia, but they don't report on what their people are doing in other people's countries. For example, this situation right here, where we have a Nigerian professor, and this is, do you now understand why they keep hiring foreigners in South Africa? Because foreigners have no loyalty to the land. They are mercenaries. They left their country. If they're not loyal to their own country, how can they be loyal to South Africa? They're mercenaries. They're economic refugees that are just looking for better opportunities in another country because they're too lazy to fix their own country. They're too lazy to stand up to their own government. So now they're becoming a problem for other countries, for other nations who are serious about fixing their problems, like South Africa. South Africans are very serious about fixing our problems. We understand the problems that we have, and we're serious about fixing them. But it's hard to do that when your so-called fellow African brothers and sisters are working with the colonizer to try to destroy your people. But somehow, this will not be labeled as xenophobic. Think about it. A Nigerian professor is in South Africa and several other. That's why they keep hiring foreign professors in these universities. White people are saying their strategy is they're going to pull the strings behind the scenes and use these mercenaries, these puppets, to destroy Black South Africans, to kill the revolution in South Africa. Because the only people that are fighting the revolution or fighting for revolution in South Africa are Black South Africans. These foreigners that come to South Africa don't care about anything except themselves. They're not here to try to help us fight against the colonizer in order to gain our sovereignty back. They're just here as opportunists. That's why I believe after 94, we should have closed our borders to develop our country in isolation without anybody coming into our country to try to take advantage of the little that our ancestors made available for us. So white people, what they're doing is they're using foreigners to undermine what our ancestors fought and died for, to give us as an inheritance. Do you guys understand it? Do you understand the bigger game that's being played? And now these foreigners that preach Pan-Africanism don't give a shit about they don't care about Pan-Africanism. They only care about themselves. Don't believe these people, bro. When they say one Africa, let's come together, it's a lie. They don't care about one Africa. They don't care about uniting Africa. All they care about is their own bellies. All they care about is making sure that they can eat and exploit South Africa and exploit all the hard work that our ancestors did to get us to where we are today. We cannot just hand it over on a platter to these foreigners that are refusing to do the work in their home countries. You Jolofinas that are betraying the country, you're just stupid low IQ people. You're low IQ people that are being manipulated by foreigners, and you're too selfish to understand this, that what your actions are affecting not just South Africa today, but the future of South Africans, because you're creating these South Nigerians, which is allowing this Nigerian culture to spread all over Africa. And that's going to be the downfall of Africa. And white people can see that. White people understand that Nigeria is a problem. Zimbabwe is a problem. So let's send them all over Africa to go and destroy those nations. Our country right now, you can't go to Yeovil. You can't go to Hillbrow. I mean, you have foreigners there that are actual mafias that are armed and ready to kill just because we're asking them to go back to their home countries. I mean, how ridiculous is that? This is a mental health disorder that we're dealing with here with Nigerians. Nigerians are sick in the head, guys, and they need help. But here's the thing, this Nigerian professor that's failing South African students, if a South African professor who's Black was failing foreign students, you guys would be up in arms calling it xenophobia. You'd be crying xenophobia right now. But because it's a South African that is suffering at the hands of a foreigner, you're telling us, oh, one love, one Africa, let's come together, let's stop the violence. Why don't you guys condemn the actions of foreigners in South Africa, but you're very quick to condemn when South Africans defend themselves against foreigners? Foreigners are being used to destroy South Africa. Why aren't you guys speaking out against this? You guys only want to speak out when South Africans retaliate. You guys only want to talk xenophobia, because that's what your media in your country is pushing. They're peddling a narrative that South Africans are xenophobic, and we're not. We are defending our homeland. We are patriotic about our country, unlike you guys. You guys don't give a you guys don't care about your own countries. We care about our country. We care about protecting our country. So stop being critical of us for being patriotic. Go look what they're doing in America. Donald Trump literally has the military kicking out foreigners. Mexicans and South Americans and Latinas are being kicked out of the country forcefully. Every country, every nation right now is trying to protect their own interests and trying to protect their own citizens and their own population from being taken over. And you know what's funny is that these Latinos are not trying to unite with the black people in America. And black Americans are saying, no, screw you guys. You were calling us lazy. This is the problem with immigrants. They are very quick to call the locals lazy because they don't understand that they are being hired as cheap labor. Capitalists always cut corners to maximize profits. So that's why capitalism and industrialization thrives under slavery. It thrives under slave labor. Most of the developed world was built through the industrialization era and slavery. Capitalism needs slave labor in order for it to thrive. That's why bringing in immigrants, legal or illegal, allows you to pay them less and exploit them. So whoever is running the country, the capitalists who are usually the white, the white capitalists who are running the country, exploit labor from ethnic groups, bringing them into the country the same way they did during slavery. They were bringing people in ships to come be slaves. They're still doing it today. You guys are falling for the bait because they're offering you some peanuts. Where's your dignity? Where's your pride, your cultural identity to say, hey, I would rather stay in my home country and build rather than running away. Nigerians, stop running away from your country. Zimbabweans, stop running away from your country. Build your country. Fix your countries, because you are allowing yourselves to be used by capitalists to destroy other nations. How can we say that Nigerians are a friend to South Africa when we're watching them destroy our country? Look at these professors. There's a deliberate syndicate to hire more foreigners in government, in education, in the municipalities in South Africa. You got wards that are being ran in South Africa by foreigners. That's a security breach. Who's orchestrating this? The 5 people that run the country, the Rupert, the Oppenheimers. Those are the people running the country using a puppet government in the ANC, a proxy government. ANC is not running anything. They're just puppets who are following instructions from the higher ups. Apartheid didn't end. It got rebranded. Colonialism has not ended. It just got rebranded. It's called capitalism. It's called free markets. People, wake up. Wake up. We will fight for our country, South Africa, no matter how much you cry xenophobia. We're not going to allow you guys to colonize our country. White people have already tried to colonize us. They tried to destroy us and they failed. We're still here and we're still fighting back. We're still pushing back. We're not going to allow you foreigners that are being used by white capital to destroy us because you're jealous of black South Africans. Go fix your own country. Go create your own South Africa in Nigeria and in Zimbabwe. Leave us alone. Imagine, is it too much to ask people? Leave us alone. If we have to ask you to leave us alone, it means you guys are trying to bully us. It means you're doing something you should not be doing in our countries. If we have to ask you to leave us alone, we are not the aggressors here. We are being attacked. We are being invaded and we're defending ourselves. And we're asking you guys, as fellow Africans, leave our country, leave us alone. Let us build our country in peace. But you guys will not allow us to do that. Why? Because you guys are bullies, you are invaders, you are lazy. And you guys are a threat to our security as a nation. Because imagine asking somebody, hey, go back to your home country, allow us to build our country in peace, and you say no. That means you are not there for any good reason. You are not there to push Pan-Africanism. You are there for selfish reasons. You are there to destroy our nation. That's why you would say no to something like that. There's no other reason. Why would you say no? Why wouldn't you say, okay, let me go back home, since we don't want any tension between ourselves as Africans so that the colonizer can win. Let me go back to my country as a Nigerian and go fix Nigeria and let South Africans fix their country. But when you say no, you're saying you're challenging us. You're being defiant. You're challenging us. You want to see what we will do in response so you can cry xenophobia. and blackmail us and manipulate us. That means you are here with a very pernicious agenda. That's what it means. You are in our country for a harmful reason. You're refusing to leave after we've asked you. That means you are invading, you are colonizing at this point. Now you are trespassing, and we have to take actions against you. Watch this.
There's an email that has been sent to me by anonymous students, but they are making very serious allegations about Dr. Achin, who, according to them, just failed students who are activists. And in fact, the letter goes further to say that they've reported the matter.
Imagine, he's failing students who are activists. In other words, whoever this Nigerian is and whoever these foreign teachers are, the reason they're being hired is because they're being given instructions to kill the revolution in South Africa, to stop South Africans from fighting for their freedom, for fighting for their sovereignty, from fighting for their land and their minerals. And our fellow African, so-called fellow African brothers and sisters are helping the colonizer eliminate us and continue to exclude us from not only the economic system, but the educational system as well, from our municipal system as well, from our government as well. This is apartheid 2.0. During apartheid, we were excluded from the same things. And today, we're being excluded from the same things. But now, white people have just advanced their strategy. They're using Africans to do it. They're using the ANC. They're using Nigerians. They're using Zimbabweans. They're infiltrating everywhere and obtaining South African citizenship to make it seem as if it's South Africans going against each other. No, these are foreigners that have obtained South African citizenship, oftentimes fraudulently, to fight against true Black South Africans. They're trying to muddy the waters to make it hard to distinguish between an actual South African and one of these foreigners that have obtained South African citizenship fraudulently. This is why in America, Black Americans have the FBA, the Foundational Black Americans. Why did they need to make that distinction? Because whites were bringing in these immigrants, particularly from Africa, to take the jobs of Black Americans, to replace them essentially as cheap labor. Why? Because the activism comes from the people that have been there longer, right? In our case, the indigenous people who are Black South Africans. So when we're fighting for our country, it's because we understand our history. These foreigners do not understand the history of our land. They don't have an attachment to it. Their ancestors' blood is not in this land. Their ancestors' blood is not in South Africa. Their ancestors' blood is in Nigeria. That's why they must go back to their countries to go fight for their own sovereignty over there. But now they've allowed themselves to be used as puppets in other people's countries to destroy their efforts to liberate themselves. How is this Pan-Africanism? How is this not xenophobic? You tell me. South Africa is being attacked by their own fellow Africans. And we're not allowed to say or do anything about it. Because if we do, then they use the xenophobia agenda to try to destroy our names. Right now, we've got Nigerians using the South African passport that they've obtained fraudulently or that they've obtained through Jolofinas, stupid Jolofinas that are selling the country. They don't understand the implications of what they're doing. They're only thinking about themselves and the money that these Nigerian men are giving them. This is unfortunate that these women are so low IQ. They don't understand the ramifications, not just of this generation, of future South African generations. You're creating these Nigerian half-breeds that have loyalty to Nigeria and that hate South Africa. You're teaching them to hate South Africa. You're telling them that South Africans are xenophobic for standing up for themselves. This is a dangerous, dangerous, dangerous premise. And this can only end in bloodshed unless the foreigners listen to what we're telling them and go back home. What's the point of you as a foreigner taking over South Africa with the aid of our colonizers? Do you think after you've eliminated Black South Africans, right? Because we're being killed. We are being genocided as Black South Africans through poverty and unemployment. The jobs are being given to Black foreigners. Now, do you think after they've eliminated us that these white colonizers are going to what? They're going to treat you well? You will be nothing more than slave labor to them as well. So you betraying us Black South Africans will not do you any good, because later on, once you guys have done away with us and killed us all, you'll be left with your colonizer master who's going to do the same thing to you. And that will be the perpetual cycle of you guys being replaced and then a new group being replaced and a new group being replaced. They're going to continue this thing forever. And the only group that actually understands what's going on and that's fighting against us is Black South Africans. The same way that Black Americans are waking up to the reasons why they keep bringing in these Nigerian doctors and Nigerian what's. They're bringing them in to replace the indigenous people and therefore to kill any revolution from taking place. You just keep purging the revolution. You keep purging people that are fighting for their rights. You keep purging them with mercenaries that are coming from other countries that have no loyalty to any country. If you're not loyal to your home country, how can you be loyal to the host nation that you're in? You've already proven to us that you are a betrayer of your own people. But now we must, what, embrace you and accept you in our home country? No, we don't trust you because you've proven to be disloyal to your own countrymen. So how can you love our country more?
And you guys say that you'll investigate, you don't investigate. But what is worse is that the allegation is that this Dr. Akin character is targeting student activists there. And then when they report to you, you suspend him or you put him aside for 2 weeks, you bring him back. There's nothing that you communicate.
To remind the Vice Chancellor that we are allowed to conduct an unannounced oversight visit, meaning that we can rock up in the morning, we should not be sent police now that we are informed that the campus is being militarized. Those are two issues that I wanted to raise. September is too far. Would want to entertain this university as soon as possible. Thank you.
Section 8 speaks about the employment of foreigners. There seems like there's a deliberate attempt to exclude some South Africans in the sector. If that's your understanding, then you would have a problem. It means you are transgressing against the act. There's an email that has been sent to me by anonymous students. Please open it for me. But they are making very serious allegations about a certain doctor, Dr. Akin, who, according to them, just failed students who are activists on this particular course. On gynecology and this one I can't pronounce. Obstetrics, on obstetrics and gynecology, on 6th year or final year medical students. And in fact, the letter goes further to say that they've reported the matter, and you guys say that you'll investigate, you don't investigate. But what it says that the allegation is that this Dr. Akin character is targeting student activists there. I don't know for what reasons. Maybe you don't want... and then when they report to you, you suspend him or you put him aside for 2 weeks, you bring him back. There's nothing that you communicate. Let's not... when you will respond, but we don't want to hear any of these stories anymore. We can't. And this is not, by the way, sent to us by one person. We just decided to choose this one. But there are many. Some of them that are available, we send them to you to respond to us as we get them. But this can continue.
Chairperson, thank you very much. Mine is a simple and straightforward one. I know we've got powers as a committee of parliament to invite someone into parliament or to appear before the committee. I would plead with this committee that we must extend our invitation to the former VC in the second round. That is my first plea. The second plea is that we must plead with you probably to remind the Vice Chancellor that we are allowed to conduct an unannounced oversight visit, meaning that we can rock up in the morning, we should not be sent police now that we are informed that the campus is being militarized. Those are the two issues that I wanted to raise. September is too far. Would want to entertain this university as soon as possible. Thank you.
No, thank you very much. Members are allowed to go to any university. They don't have to be members of this committee, by the way. It can be any member of parliament. They can decide to come to your university. If they write to you, it's out of courtesy. They can just come in the morning and want to see. Because if we tell you, you will paint, you'll paint the area, they will find new places. Students were telling us that when Dr. Nkosazana was going there, he once painted the wall for 2 days, or something like that. Dr. Mabelebele paying a lot of people there. There's a point I want that, there's something that you said, Vice Chancellor, which really did not sit well with me. You can just open it for me. When you said that, when we were saying be deliberate when you recruit, and you said no, it depends on the performance, the highest qualifications in the advert. I don't agree with you, and I want you to go look at the Employment Services Act of 2014, Chapter 2 of that Act. Section 8 speaks about the employment of foreigners in this country. Section 8, subsection 2A. I'm going to read for you what A says, what that thing says, so that, because if that's your understanding, then you'll have a problem. It means you are transgressing against the act that allows you to employ people. So chapter 2, section 8, subsection 2A says, open quote, the employers must satisfy themselves that there are no other persons in the Republic with suitable skills to fill a vacancy before recruiting a foreign national. That is what A says. It's a whole article. Read that thing, because I don't think sometimes, especially at universities, Deputy Minister, I've written to your minister. I've asked them to ask these universities to give you the stats of who have been employed, especially foreign nationals. All of them, all universities. We've written to your office, and we said we've even tried to explain the table we want it in. You must say Dr. Mabelebele, or what is your name, CFO? Manyawe. Dr. Manyawe, CFO. I'm going to, maybe let's say, nationality. I know you are neutralized, and I'm making an example. I must make an example with you because you are here. Yeah. Yeah, naturalized. Like you say. Oh. I said neutralized. Okay. No, I'm sorry. You see, I'm a soldier, so in a military language, we neutralize people. Naturalized. So, you'll say Dr. Manyawe, position CFO, nationality Zim. When did he get employed? It will say 2017. And then on this side, it will say there were these other 5 people who also applied for the same position. So this is what we have asked them to do. Why do we want to do that? Because we believe that sometimes there seems like there's a deliberate attempt, Deputy Minister, to exclude some South Africans in the sector. A case in point is that there was a dean position at CUT where a South African who, by the way, was highly qualified than the person they gave the position to was shunned, was not given the job. And even because this one was an internal person, once they assumed this role, the role where she was as well, the person who's acting, is also a foreign national. So we want to understand when you do these things, how does it come to pass? So we want to thank you for coming. We will indeed come to, either you come back or we'll come. It will depend on the thing of Parliament. All the best, Vice Chancellor. Don't be emotional. Sometimes you will not be asked nice questions, because these people, they are public representatives. They are also not asked nice questions. I mean, if I go to my constituents and people swear at me and they tell me, you guys are not doing 1, 2, 3, 4, when we come here and we must also ask you those questions. So it's not out of disrespect for them. It's because they represent the people. And those people in South Africa currently, they believe that we're not doing what we're supposed to be doing. They believe that they are ill-treated by your institutions. They believe that these institutions sometimes, I mean, they are militarized. They think they are just, you guys are just running jails. You know, and when students cry and you don't listen to them, because the SRC arrived there and told us literally that you guys don't listen to them. So they must then, those people come to us and we must ask you. So it's not out of disrespect. Let's try and be calm. It's a long route. We've got a very long road that we are going to walk together with yourselves. So let's not be emotional. We will get it right. The first step to get it right is to acknowledge where there are mistakes. Let's try and fix. Like the swimming pool that you're talking about, we know it does not have water, Dr. Manyang. You said that you don't have, what do you call this thing? Today there were best pipe here and there. We know there's always best pipes there. Because we are, we live with these students. Where they come from, we come from. So let's not think when we're coming to Parliament, we're going to meet some people from Martin, or what do you call these things? From Mars, There's no such. You have people that live where we live, and they are able to tell us. Some of them are our neighbors, our younger brothers and sisters. So we know these challenges. Even when we are talking about drones, Vice Chancellor, that we've got so many drones. They were saying, and cameras, they were saying the only drones they know, they're snakes that are there on your campuses, and monkeys, So they don't have the drones and the cameras that we're talking about. So let's try next time to improve on our presentation. I want to thank you, all of you, council members who took their time.
Yeah, this is not the time to handle this situation with Ubuntu. I don't agree with the way the situation is being dealt with. This is treasonous. This is people that are manipulating. These are foreigners who are manipulating their access to South African citizenship. And we need to stop awarding the South African citizenship. South Africans, listen to me. This country belongs to us. It does not belong to this government. You understand? So if we're not going to do things, we've got two options. It's either we're going to do it democratically. If we do it democratically, then we have to make sure we guard against vote rigging, because the last elections were rigged. We cannot let these people treat us like fools, right? And if we're not going to do it democratically, we do it the Ibrahim Traore way, without necessarily having to kill the people in charge, but to say, we're not going to let you run this country into the ground. It's our country. We fought for this. Our ancestors fought for this. We're not going to let the colonizer continue to use black puppets to destroy us. I question this particular gentleman on Abu Angareng. Oh, you guys have made a mistake. It's not a mistake. This is, like he himself has said, there seems to be a deliberate attempt to replace and exclude South Africans. That's treasonous. That's not a small accusation. That's very, very, very serious. And to say, okay, we're going to give you another chance, they're just going to find another way out of it. Can you imagine when they do inspections, They will then paint for 2 days, paint the walls or fix the pipes or fix this, that, and the, which means that they could be doing that, but they choose not to because they don't respect Black South Africans enough to do what's right for them. It's the same way as Ramaphosa now trying to clean up the country just because the G20 summit is taking place in South Africa. All of a sudden now they're cleaning up the streets and doing this. Why couldn't you do that before with our tax money? It goes to show you that that level of disrespect, these guys will clean up for when foreigners are coming to the country, but they won't clean up for the people that live in this mess. Now they want to kick out foreigners and do all of this cleaning up. But as soon as the G20 summit is done, what are they going to do? They're going to let the country be dilapidated again and bring the foreigners back to the country to destroy the country. We, the people, are taking charge of our own country. South Africa belongs to us, South Africans. It's our inheritance that our ancestors fought and died for. We will not hand it over on a silver platter to foreigners who are betraying us, so-called brothers and sisters who are coming into the country and working for the colonizer to suppress us and exclude us. This is what I mean. Apartheid has rebranded from, Frantz Fanon talked about this nonsense. He talked about this. We talked about a black face and a white mask. That's what we're experiencing right now. Our new colonizers are not the colonizers, but the colonizers are using black people to oppress fellow black people because they're mercenaries. They're doing it for money. Imagine betraying your own people for money, guys. What a shame that capitalism has taken root in the hearts of people who should be putting culture before anything else. Culture defines our morals. Capitalism has no morals. It prides and puts money over everything. It puts money over everything. It puts money over culture, money over morals. It puts money over everything. That is not something we want in Africa. Capitalism cannot work in Africa and does not work in Africa. We are led and directed by our culture. That's where our morals are. These new standards and morals that we're seeing in Africa are not us. This is a much more serious situation than what I think this trial that they're having right now in Parliament is cosmetic. You're supposed to immediately punish these people and immediately deport this Nigerian professor. He should not continue to have a job in this country after we found out that he's failing students deliberately in a deliberate ploy to exclude. Exclusion is apartheid, to exclude South Africans. South Africans, let's take charge of our country. Let's shut this country down. Shut the country down. Conscientize your people. Conscientize the foreign blacks that are coming in that don't understand that they're being used as pawns. Nobody's jealous of you. How can we be jealous of you? Why are we not in your country then if we're so jealous of you? Anyway, Shabafet, Talabon.